the presence of so many startups, the innovators here, makes the visit to Hyderabad very fruitful one. So far, procurement has been looked at bringing some very costly high technology equipment from abroad for the forces. To allay the fears of the local manufacturers, in 2021 December, our Prime Minister declared that the defense procurement will be primarily from local industry. It has been written down on in stone. It cannot be violated just like that. So, if you think that defense forces require a particular type of equipment now or in future, you should start innovating because you stand a very good chance to become a part of their supply chain.
We would now like to express our heartfelt gratitude and take the privilege to felicitate our esteemed guest, Shri Giridhar Aramane, IAS Defence Secretary of India, for gracing us with his presence today. He is known for his illustrious career and distinguished service to the nation. Shri Aramane has held various pivotal roles in both the central government and state governments, showcasing exceptional leadership and expertise. I humbly request Shri Giridhar Aramane to grace us and share his thoughts on the future of Indian defense and aerospace ecosystem.
I am thankful to T-Hub, Jayesh Ranjan, Srinivas Rao Garu, and the Anthony and his team of the dynamic T-Hub team here. Reddy Garu is here, Satish is here, and many important defense sector industry leaders are here. Hyderabad is a beautiful city. It's always a pleasure to be here. And also, the presence of so many startups, the innovators here, makes the visit to Hyderabad very fruitful one. I would like to divide my comments into three parts. Firstly, I would like to tell you about the initiatives taken by government in procurement reforms. Secondly, in the innovative ecosystem reforms. Thirdly, quality reforms. Lastly, I would conclude by expressing what Government of India expects from the innovative ecosystem in the country. Firstly, coming to the procurement reforms. So far, procurement has been looked at bringing some very costly high technology equipment from abroad for the forces. To allay the fears of the local manufacturers, in 2021 December, our Prime Minister declared that the defense procurement will be primarily from local industry. Imports will be an exception. So it has been written down on in stone. It cannot be violated just like that. Any exception has to be approved by the defense minister himself, and if it required, it goes to the cabinet. So, if you think that defense forces require a particular type of equipment now or in future, you should start innovating because you stand a very good chance to become a part of their supply chain. The second important thing which is done is that we have ensured that the procurement process itself is speeded up. It's delegated to various levels. Now, you have seen the emergency procurement recently. More than 100 contracts have been signed in a period of 6 months to 8 months, and many supplies also are taking place. Several of these are purely Indian designed, developed and manufactured. Similarly, we have the Make 1 and Make 2 programs also, where last year 2022-23 we have concluded more than 80 contracts with the local manufacturers. These can be very top order equipment like the tanks and infantry combat vehicles, and it can also be smaller equipment like spare parts, components of the various platforms we are using. Thirdly, in make programs, that is Indian designed and developed manufacturing in India equipment, we are ensuring that orders are placed soon after the development is completed. In fact, the Make 1 and Make 2 programs are tied with the secure orders. Make 3, which also looks at technology transfer and manufacturing in India, is also tied to the guaranteed orders. So, in terms of ensuring that whoever designs and develops in the country is rewarded adequately, reforms are already in place to ensure that they get the returns. The next most important reform is that we are requiring each and every critical technology required for these platforms which our forces are procuring are designed and developed in India. Normally, what used to happen previously is that there will be several Indian companies manufacturing parts, components, but the company which gets the order for entire platform used to import several of these components from abroad, despite having the local alternative. So we ensured that now, as per the new rules, the critical technologies have to be sourced from India. If they are already available, if they are not available, they have to be developed and manufactured in India. This is a major change. Why? Because so far, indigenous technology means it used to be labor component, it used to be the maintenance component, it used to be the documentation, it used to be the training. It never used to be the critical technology. It can be the metal bending, riveting, and those kind of low technology equipment, but it never was high-end avionics or electronic systems, IT systems, etc., which used to be very critical. What happens is that if we buy the IT systems, the software of these platforms from abroad, we are constantly dependent upon the foreign suppliers. The Indian supplier never gets a chance to supply. Those things are a thing of the past now. Now, we have mandated that the IDDM means it shall be designed and developed in India. It has to be manufactured in India. Next, I will come to the innovative system reforms. We had IDEX program in 2018-19 that itself was a very great revolution. In fact, it for the first time established a very simple process to ensure that the innovators are given some support, some mentorship, some hand holding, and also a small amount of grant. It used to be 1.5 crores. Later, it was increased to 10 crores. Now, recently, we have ensured that these innovators, these young people who have started the companies, are also assured of the orders. They progress to the orders in a seamless fashion. It is not a very cumbersome process of going through several rounds of quality checks, etc. Because we are asking you to develop a particular technology, we agreed with you what it will perform, and you have developed according to that. The procurement from these companies has been simplified a lot. In fact, one of the officers from the services, Navy, Air Force, or Army, will handhold you and ensure that the procurement process is also completed. One more important, very important change has been brought about. That is the spiral development. So far, we prescribe SQR, service quality requirements, at a particular level. It has to fly, if it's a drone, it has to fly up to 10,000 feet. If it flies up to 9,500 feet, we used to say, no, you have not met the SQR, so we cannot procure. Similar restrictions were there in many other requirements. So what we now say is that if you meet, say, 70% of the requirement, okay, we will place order for so many units. You still have a chance to increase it to the 10,000 feet and come back to us so that we can procure from you the remaining quantity. So the spiral development is going to be of great help to the innovators, as they are assured of orders even if they meet not 100% but 70 to 80% of the requirement also. This will ensure that you will not suffer in future. We are also thinking of doing one more thing. Just now, some of the people I interacted with told me that the initial seed capital is okay. You may give 1.5 crore, 10 crore or 25 crores, but the matching grant is causing a serious problem. We want to solve that. We are thinking of tying you with the platform manufacturer. Suppose you manufacture a component and sub-assembly for a larger platform. We would like you to get in touch with the larger company which manufactures the platform and get the necessary funding from them. Apart from that, recently Finance Minister had a very detailed discussion with the Managing Director of SIDBI. She had instructed him to ensure that all the defense startups get the necessary funding at the lowest possible cost. The cost of capital has to be reduced for the startups in the country. So all necessary arrangements will be done for that. And from my side, from the defense ministry side, we will ensure that our companies, I have 16 of them, will ensure that they will come to your support. They will not ask for your equity. Please don't worry. They will extend you in terms of a interest-free loan if you are developing a part, a subsystem, a component which will go into the platform they are manufacturing. I request other industry representatives here. I have representatives of Tata, Mahindra, Boeing, Safran, very large companies are present here. I would also request them to handhold the startups, and they have been doing it. In fact, when Honorable Prime Minister went to US last June, he took along with him a large number of the startup innovators. There, he personally ensured that they get the necessary support from the American industry ecosystem. Just before he reached there, he had asked me to organize an event where Indian startups get an exposure to the American defense industry. So we had organized that IndusX symposium there, where many top US companies had interacted with Indian startups and have given several orders to these companies. So in terms of connect between industry, the established industry, which get most of the large orders, and the startups which provide the critical technologies needed, has been already started, and I hope it will, in times to come, will become very, very strong and be mutually beneficial to the large corporates as well as the startups. Now I come to the third important reform which government has undertaken recently, is the quality reforms. Quality control and quality assurance are very key to defense industry. You understand, one particular batch of ammunition which resulted in poor quality has caused the death of many soldiers a few years ago, 3-4 years ago. So quality control is to be given topmost importance in all the defense related manufacturing processes. So we are generally very careful. We have a very large organization with several thousands of people working for it, which will check the quality of various equipment, arms and ammunition we procure. However, many times it becomes so tedious that the manufacturers get worried that this process will never end and we may end up with no order in next few years. That will cast a shadow on their financials and will result in them getting out of the defense sector. It has happened many times previously also. So to ensure that the processes are very fair, objective and not very time consuming, we have introduced several reforms recently. Firstly, we are providing a single window system for quality control. So far, we have been asking the manufacturers to go around several of the laboratories, several of the offices to get each of the systems to be certified. Now, we say that if you are manufacturing, say, a battle tank, you can go to only one office and get all the systems certified through that office. He will handhold you. He will take forward the certification process on his own. There will not be multiple visits to multiple offices. The second important thing is the remote and virtual quality control. Now we have huge developments in IT and instrumentation. Many of you are fully aware of it, which will enable us to do the quality control, quality assurance work sitting in a remote area. There is no need to be physically be present. Right now, I have deployed several hundreds of my officers in these companies, manufacturing companies. I would like to get out of these offices. Maybe in a central office, they can sit and watch what is being done in these offices through remotely operated cameras, etc. A part of this is also the automated quality control processes. Many of the machines these days come with the recording of the parameters of the goods being manufactured. They can be read and understood clearly whether the processes are proper or not from a remote location. That also has been enabled now, and many companies are already utilizing this. And lastly, in this series of reforms is the self-certification. If you have reached a certain stage in the manufacturing process, you can certify yourself that this is according to so and so standard, so and so mill standard, we confirm, so we can supply to you. Or third party certification. If there is NABL certified laboratory, they can come and check and give a certificate to you, which will be acceptable in the ministry. Like this, we want to declutter the quality control and quality assurance processes so that your procurement, the manufactured goods, the goods you have manufactured can be procured without any problem. So these are the three types of reforms which government has undertaken. I have listed only important ones. There are several of these things because our procurement process, quality assurance process is very complicated one. We had to change, we have to modify, we have to delete many of these processes. It is much simpler now. It can be much more simpler. I need your advice on that. But I have stated some of the important ones. Now, what do I expect from Defense Ministry side to the startups? We have issued lot of challenges through IDEX recently and through Aditi only last month. I would request all of you to work on them because there are guaranteed orders in them. If I ask for a small component of a battle tank or one of my aircraft fighter jets, I actually need it in large quantity. Please look into these positive indigenization lists which are there in our website. Similarly, the challenges are needed for actual life uses. We need to deploy these equipment as soon as you make them ready. That's why IDEX program in last 2-3 years has resulted in several contracts. I think 34 or 35 contracts have already been signed, and we are in the process of signing many more. More than 300 projects have been awarded for development under IDEX. So I want you to concentrate on the 5 positive indigenization lists issued by the ministry so that I can procure more and more goods from you and also from the Aditi and IDEX challenges. The second one is the care for quality and the user friendliness. I was trying to procure an assault rifle for Indian Army. This assault rifle is like almost like a part of your body for a soldier who is guarding the border. It has to be very, very user friendly. It should not get heated up. It should be very easy to use. It should not malfunction. whether in Ladakh or is in Rajasthan. It has to be so good that the soldier will not feel that it's a burden on him. When I compare what is made by, say, 6R in US and what is made by our own defense PSU in our country, of course, our own equipment is fully indigenous, 100%. But the look, feel, and the quality all have much to improve. So, when you are coming up with a product, look at the design of it carefully, user friendliness of it carefully, and also the quality assurance also very carefully. Without these, we cannot really excel in any sector. Quality of actual functioning and quality of look and feel are also very, very important for getting success in procurement processes. The very look of your equipment should be so appealing. I would like you to work on it. Thirdly, for the capital, I assume that none of you want to part with equity in your companies. Don't get disheartened. We are working on the funding mechanisms. We understand that going through the defense ministry's processes is very tedious. We are in the process of reforming. We have already done a few. More are in the offing. But do approach the funding agencies, the DPSUs, without hesitation. We don't want to steal your IPR in the DPSUs. We are willing to fund you without any caveats, without any very difficult conditions. We would like you to succeed. Ultimately, if you succeed, we succeed, and our country's security is really in good hands. So, with this appeal, and again thanking T-Hub, which has come up as one of the best incubators in the country, and maybe it will rival some of the best in the world. Congratulating the team here, congratulating all the innovators here. I take your leave. Jai Hind.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.